What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Level Up with Gal. Welcome to 2024. Holy crap, right? 2023 went by so fast and we are now in the new year. And what I want to dive in today and talk to you about is having the confidence to speak up for yourself, having the confidence to do things that you want to do in the way that you want to do it, having confidence in everything that you do. It is a work in progress, but remember, how we do one thing is truly how we do everything, right? And a lot of times we're like, that's not true. Like, what do you mean? Let me explain. If you have a hard time showing up for yourself in your personal life, you probably have a hard time showing up in your job, in your career, at work, at the workplace, and speaking up for yourself. If you struggle speaking up for yourself in your relationship, your significant other, you probably struggle speaking up at work. You probably struggle in your friendships, speaking up. And when you hear speaking up, that doesn't mean being rude or being mean or having to yell or anything. What it means is expressing how you feel and your thoughts and your feelings and contributing to the team. Whether that team is you and your spouse, or that team is you and your boss, your teammates, your coworkers, whatever environment you want to compare it to, it all is the freaking same. How you're going to show up in your everyday life for yourself is also how you're showing up in everything else that you do. For example, for a long time, I would be so scared to speak up at work. I would be like, nope, I'm just going to, okay, whatever they say, I'm just going to do it, right? Who's been there? Probably all of us, right? Let's be serious, right? I remember being in big meetings and, they're like, anyone has anything to say and has all these things I want to say or all these ideas that I want to contribute to the group. But I was nervous and I was scared. What if my ideas get shot down? What if they don't like it? And I would take it personally, right? 1, speak up. 2, don't take a no personally. It may just be not a good idea. It may just not be the right timing for that idea yet. But if you don't voice how you feel and your ideas and get it out there, you might miss a great opportunity to make a change. You might miss a great opportunity to be a part of something greater, a bigger impact that you can make for others and for your freaking self. Is it easier to sit on the sideline and not say anything? Yeah, of course, right? How many times have us been there? We're like, no, I'm good. Or I hope Susie Q over there, Carol speaks up so I can just, piggyback on someone. I have done that before myself where I'm like, I'm going to piggyback on someone or someone piggybacks on me. It ended up turning into me being it's a difference between being a follower and a leader. Boom, there we go. Because I used to be in rooms and I'll be like, yep, I'm going to piggyback on that person. And then add my idea because it feels less scary that way. But here's the thing. Someone is not even sometimes, another person's idea or thoughts and feelings is not always going to be yours. You may have similarities as someone else, but if you don't speak up and share how you feel or your idea, no one's going to ever know what that is. We are not mind readers, right? And collaborate. There's so much power in collaborating with other people, to continue to level up for yourself, but also in the industry that you're working in your own personal life, and everything that you do. You need to think of it like a relationship with your spouse. It's a collaboration. It's a teammate. It's teamwork that you are building this life together. Same thing when you're working on a team. You are collaborating. You're building this work environment, that's the life together. The clients, the customers, the people that you serve all are impacted from the team and how the team interacts. Clients feel that. Whether you see it or not, every interaction is an energy exchange. If you're prepared, if you're not, if you're on the same page with your team or you're not, if you're working on an island by yourself, that all comes through. So it's super important to collaborate, to voice what you feel, how you feel, and maybe start off small by just telling your coworker and then talking to your boss, right? And then eventually you'll feel more comfortable to speaking to the group. I know it's scary when you're in an office in a meeting with a ton of top dogs, okay? It's really nerve-wracking. I've been there many times and I used to sit there like, I'm gonna be a good girl, take my notes, have my laptop, and just to everything. And when I got the opportunity, many opportunities to be honest, and finally I pushed myself and I was like, I'm gonna speak up. Because I always like to no, not even just we should always be fighting for what is right, whether we're right or wrong, but voice our opinion, right? So, without going into a ton of details, there was a situation where I just didn't feel like things were happening the right way. It was just not fair across the board. Certain people were getting certain treatments and certain people were not. And I actually happened to be one that was getting the better treatment. And I was like, I could sit here and not say anything because I'm getting the perks, but it was not fair for the other people. And I'm a huge advocate for doing what is right. I'm not trying to be right. I want to do what is right. And if my opinion is like, it's not on the right path, or it's not actually what is right, then I appreciate when someone tells me. And you have to be open-minded to be able to receive that information too, and know that like you're not always right. We're not always right, and that is okay. But if you always think that you're always right, your way is always the way to go, you're going to have a really hard time being flexible and adjusting to life experiences, because a lot of times our own opinion and our expectation of what something is going to be or should be is going to come from a certain perspective because of our life experiences. And that's why it's so important to collaborate, because you're going to see that other people have different views than you, and they're going to come up with different ideas than you because of the fact that they have different experiences, their personal experiences, their career experiences, their life experiences. That's the coolest thing when you get to collaborate with other people, which is why you should voice your freaking opinion. As I'm saying that, knocking over my mic. But in everything that you do, all right, take the career out of it. In your personal life, are you showing up for yourself every day when you say that you're going to? Are you following through the things you're gonna do? Because every time you do, you build your confidence. And when you have more and more confidence in every aspect of your life, you truly start to get to that point of your life where you are doing everything in like a flow, in a sequence of alignment. Right? For a long time, I struggled with the gal at work and then the gal in her personal life, right? And it would drive me nuts. Like, super confident in my personal life, and then I wasn't really in my career or at work. And going back to like how you do one thing is how you do everything, I truly believe that. So as confident as I thought I was in my personal life, standing up for myself, doing what I wanted to do, when I literally took myself out of the jar to read the label, I was like, I am actually not that confident. I actually say yes to a lot of people when I don't want to, and I'm saying no to myself a lot. I'm actually not following through on a lot of the things that I want to do, that I say I'm going to do. I'm actually lowering my confidence level all the time. Just like how I wouldn't speak up at work in meetings because I was afraid, right? And then the awesome thing with me learning to speak up in my personal life, and then like in my career and in everything that I do. And let me tell you something, it's still a work in progress. Okay. We are always a work in progress. I've been working on this for 7 years, and I'm still working on this, continue to work on this. Actually, it's over 7 years, but that's besides the point. And I still get moments where I'm like, oh, do I want to say anything? What if I'm wrong? You know, we're still human. We still have these thoughts. And the most awesome thing about me learning to speak up, and one of my last jobs, you know, people are coming to me like, how do I do that too? And I love that. And I was like, you can do it. Just slowly speak up. And we'll be in meetings, and I would tell this person, or many people actually, and I'll be like, hey, I'll be right in the room with you. Just speak up. But you need to do it because it's actually your opinion, it's your idea. And if you need me, like, I'll help you, but you got this. And just that person knowing like, hey, someone else has my back and is going to root for me, made a big difference in how they felt and how they showed up, and they started speaking up more. And it was just so cool to watch other people step into their freaking power, into their growth, and to for them to see how much confidence and power and impact they can really make in other people's lives and their life. So it comes for a circle. The more you show up for yourself, the more confident you are. You ooze that off to other people. They show up better. You work better together. You improve in relationships. And it's just so cool to see. And it just makes me so proud. And, you know, it all started with me showing up for me. So same goes for you. All starts with showing up for you in little baby steps, right? If it's too overwhelming to like show up and like, okay, and like every aspect, take it slow, you know, and you're slowly going to shift, and you're slowly going to change, and, you know, follow through on the things you say you're going to do for your personal life, for work. And you're starting to see, because you've dropped the ball on yourself in your personal life, I would be willing to bet you're dropping the ball at work too. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to follow through on that. But do you? Probably not. Oh, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to get my workout in today. And then do you? And you come up with these excuses and you don't do it? So remember, how we do one thing is how we truly do everything. And don't beat yourself up when you notice like, hey, I don't actually follow through on everything. Well, now you know. When it's in your awareness, you know where your starting point is, and then now you know how to improve it, right? So something I have realized this week, and I've known this for a while, and I've been working on this, but it came into my awareness from a different perspective, from a different person. And something that I'm truly like that I'm working on is learning when I have too much on my plate, because I do have the confidence now to be like, yeah, I got it. I can handle so much. And I go into this mindset of like, I can handle it all. And this stems from me being in positions before and in my own life, in my life experiences where I had to do it on my own. I did not have help. And then I realized growing up and like not having that help helped me become really determined, right? And super strong and, not give up and all that stuff. Awesome. But in my career, I've taken positions where I've just taken on more and more and more. And I would thrive. And it would be like a high that I'm going to do so well. And the stress is, I became like addicted to the stress and addicted to the high of doing so well and doing great and all that. But it's not necessary. It is truly not necessary to take on so much all the time. And you're not less of a person. You're not less worthy if you're not taking on more. I had to learn that. And I'm still working on that you have to be able to stand up for yourself and say, hey, this is actually too much right now. I need help. And there's been times in my own like personal life where I'm like, I'm taking on so much that it's stressing me out. I'm taking on too many calls. I have too much going on, personal, career, everything, right? Because to me, everything's connected, right? If you want to categorize it, cool, you can. But everything we do in our life is connected. Our workouts, how we show up for ourselves, how we take care of ourselves, how we show up at work, how we interact with other people. And that is across the board, how we interact with people. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others. Everyone's a mirror of us. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still working on that too. And I'm sharing this story because we're all work in progress, no matter where you are at in your journey. But don't beat yourself up, right? Because I acknowledge this and I had a conversation with my husband like, oh man, I thought I got over this hump, right? A lot of times we think that, but we are leveling up to the next level of that situation. Like, okay, now we know how we're going to improve, how we're going to show up and be better. But one, you have to know, you have to have the awareness. And two, you have to be able to admit to yourself, like, hey, I need to work on this. And then three, like, figure out how am I going to get better at this, right? When the next situation comes up, do I need to ask for help for me to have the confidence to be like, hey, this is too much? Or am I going to be able to stand up for myself and be like, hey, raise your hand, like, I need help. Who can help me with this, right? Personal, career, whatever. Start looking in your life and see what areas in your life you need a little bit more awareness and help. If you don't slow down to see what areas you need help in or what areas you can improve, it's going to be really, really freaking hard to know, hey, I need to work in this area. Because if you're always go, you're not going to slow down to be able to reflect, to say, hey, I need to work on this area of my life. I need to show up better as a spouse. I need to speak up more in general in my life. I need to show up better for myself, physically, mentally, for my freaking soul. Maybe you want to meditate more. Maybe you want to work out more. Maybe you want to show up better for your friends or your spouse, or show up better for yourself, right? But you got to spend some time to figure out what the heck it is that you want to work on and how you're going to get there. So all in all, this episode, I want to tell you to show up for yourself every single day. Well, with confidence, right? Start building up that confidence little by little and know that you're going to get there. You will get there slowly but surely, but you got to start somewhere, right? And the more you do anything, the more confidence you're going to have. The more you speak up, you're going to feel even better. You're going to have more confidence, and you're going to know how you're going to react in situations, how you can start to improve in every situation, how you start to improve for yourself. We're all growing every single day, and keep that learning open mindset. Don't ever think that you know enough, because the moment you think you do, that's the moment it's like it's over. It's over as in like you're closing the walls in the book, the door, that you're not willing to soak in new knowledge. And there's so much knowledge out there to learn from other people, from other books, podcasts, your coworkers, anyone in your life, your friends. We're all experiencing different things and we all view the world in a different way. So why not learn from each other and learn from each other's perspective? Doesn't mean it needs to change your perspective. It just means that it can open a door for you to see life from a different view. So show up for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to 2024. Super excited for this year, and I'm going to spend some time reflecting my own life. And a lot of times when we hear, a new year, we're like, oh yeah, think of the new goals we want to set and all that. But I don't want to overwhelm you, and I decided to not spend a ton of time looking at goals. Not right now. I will, but I needed time to reflect on myself and to see what direction I want to go and what has happened this past year. But also I needed some time to recover. I've been exhausted, so I took that time. And it's okay. It's okay to do that, but listen to your body and what you need. And I will catch you in the next episode. I appreciate you so much. Make sure you subscribe, share this episode with anyone that you feel can find this useful. And I appreciate you so much. If you're interested in learning more about me, check out my website, www.gailperino.com, GaoPeraino.